Hello everyone, welcome to Trade. Today in this video we're going to see the levels for Nifty and Banknifty for 8th September, Thursday. See, I have the 15-minute chart of Banknifty that is open. See, after taking a nice resistance over here as expected at around 39,900 on Tuesday. Here on Wednesday we had a huge gap down because of the US markets, and then we got a nice pullback until the previous day low. See, this blue line that I marked here was obviously the previous day low. We came here, retested this twice, and then kind of stayed in this range. See, because of this huge gap up or a gap down because of the US market, it is kind of difficult to take positional trades. I'm sure a lot of option sellers who do this positional strategies are also having tough time, but the best way to go is some small intraday moves is capturable in both Nifty and Bank Nifty. So this is the 15-minute chart of Bank Nifty. Let's just see what happened today and where we could have taken possible entries. Now if I just shift to a 5-minute chart, see why I say this intraday moves is possible is, you see there are some good moves that comes in the intraday. Right now, for example, over here we got this nice move of 250 points in this. Even if we capture about 180 120 points or 150 points in option premium, it is good. And a small down move over here, it was difficult to capture, but if somebody could, again a 50 points in option premium was good. And this is capturable by this 1 minute time frame. I have a video on my channel on scalping on 1 minute time frame. You can have a check on that. So this up move was tradable. This down move after this candle was kind of tradable. Obviously we didn't get the follow up, we retraced and the profits would have been less, but yes, it was tradable. So this type of small scalping is all that has been happening now. Even if you see on this day, on the 6th, right, see, after we opened, we came down, there was a beautiful up move. See, in this type of up move, we should not be targeting to capture the entire 350 points. A good trader can probably even capture from here, say, because these candles were shaky. Even about 100 200 points if you capture, right, that's more than enough. And this was again some good scalping trades was possible. Now coming for the levels for tomorrow, see, tomorrow is the weekly expiry, so could expect a little bit of trending move. And why I'm going to come back to this 15-minute intraday chart. So see, today's move is basically we have consolidated in this region, right? So in short, for tomorrow the best trade is if this we break out of this, probably we can see a level of 39,900. that is on the higher side, and before that a good, maybe we will see some, this is another place where we can take some resistance, that is 39,700. Let me just mark that along with our CPR levels. This is another place where we might face some resistance. So if this consolidation breaks on the upper side, then this will be our first target, second target, and only if this breaches, then we'll have to improvise on the higher targets. And the same thing on the bottom side. If this consolidation breaks on the downside, right, the first target is 38,900, and then we have 38,800 is also possible if the down move continues. But if this level breaks, I think minimum at least until that we should see a good 200 points move until at least 39,000 is possible if we break this on the downside. Now this up move and the down move, right, either way we can see about 300 or 400 points move, that is from here. So this is about 200 and extended target about 400 points on the upside. If this breaks down, the first target is about 200 points and the extended target is about 450 points. So if we get a flat opening and then breakout or a breakdown, flat opening means open within this region, and a breakout or a breakdown, it'll be a good day for trading. We can definitely trade, and on either side the stop loss will be this level. Now if we break out, if we buy, the stop loss is this line. Now say we break out and suddenly come below this, then we'll have to take a stop loss. The same thing on the downside. If we break this down and suddenly reverse on the upside, this level will be our stop loss, the blue line. Now all this will work beautifully if we get a pretty flat opening, right, somewhere over here or closer to this, or a small gap down closer to this. If we get a huge gap down or a huge gap up, then the scenario might change. Now whether it's going to be a gap up or a gap down, we are going to see that on the US chart. See the US futures, they have few more hours of trading. This video is being recorded late in the night, but they have recovered about 470. They have shown a good recovery today, no doubt. And if we go to the Dow Jones chart for today and go to the daily chart, it is kind of taken a small bounce from a good support that we had drawn, this black trend line. I had a view, if this black trend line breaks, we could come dip further until 30,600 or so, but this is definitely a good recovery where a nice bullish engulfing candle has come. Maybe we will come closer to this, probably on the daily chart come closer to this level of 32,200, probably closer to the EMAs, the 20 or the 50 EMA is one possibility, but we'll never know, right? Tomorrow again we can have a red candle. The same thing, I had the same feeling when this hammer came on this day, on 1st September, that exactly it's coming on this trend line. Probably we can reverse from here, but we got two red candles. So we'll have to see if we get a follow-up tomorrow, if Dow Jones is kind of showing some recovery from this level or not. So because of this, our SGX Nifty is showing a 120 point gap up. So this is pretty big. Now 120 point in Banknifty, 120 points in Banknifty from today's close means it will be around 300 or 400 points. We will be directly opening somewhere in this region, about 37,700 or 37,800, definitely above this level of 37,000, about today's high, definitely above today's high. So when we open here, the best trade is see if we can get some pullback closer to this level, 37,500. If there's a good OI support, then we can think of buying. But say tomorrow, because of the US market, the way it recovered today, if we end up getting a pretty big gap up somewhere close to 37,900 or in this area, right, then we will have to be very careful. We'll have to improvise in the live market. We'll have to see if the OI is building up on the call side here, and if we get a nice rejection, we can even short. But after the gap up to this level, breakout and again move 400, 500 points, I'm not expecting that. Probably if we gap up here, maybe we'll consolidate and some dip can be expected. See, maybe a gap up and some consolidation, we might go a little higher, but not a very big move on the higher side might not come. That is what my view is. But if we get a huge gap up or a huge gap down, right, huge gap down, it doesn't look like. As long as we get a pretty flat opening in Bank Nifty, it's good to take. A huge gap up, we'll have to be pretty careful. We'll have to see how, if we get a huge gap up, right, best thing to do is just wait and see if we are breaking out of this level with a strong candle or kind of consolidating and then breaking out, then probably we can take some small entries until 40,140 or so as our targets. See, all this time when I was refreshing, I was seeing about 74 points gap up, so was kind of under the impression that we will gap up somewhere close to this previous today's high and we can get a nice move. But this huge gap up is again very tricky to trade. Now seeing the change in OI, there is a lot of calls that's been written on 39,500, and a gap up might change this. All these people might exit, pushing the market higher, and the overall OIC, there is pretty good amount of open interest at 40,000. So breaking 40,000 might not be easy. Maybe a huge gap up somewhere close to 39,800 or 900, consolidating, and then during the day at some point maybe an attempt will be made to break this. So but this definitely 35, around 35 lakhs or whatever, this 35 number is huge. Breaking it is difficult. So if we get a gap up close to this 40,000, right, and this OI sustains, it doesn't come down, it does sustain, then if we get a nice red candle over here somewhere close to 40,000, we can definitely try and take a short position with this blue line that I have as the stop loss, because once this breaks, then we the market could go further higher, right? This is the recent high that we have made. Now the same thing applies on Nifty. See, Nifty showed a better recovery today than Banknifty when it kind of went up and filled this entire gap down that we had today. Now a 120 point on Nifty will put us, see, a 120 point will exactly put us in this region where we previously had a couple of sell-offs in the recent time. This is the 15-minute chart of Nifty. See, a 120 point gap up we will open somewhere over here, that is the 17,700, and in this, from this region we have got a sell off almost 1 2 3. So this time we'll have to wait and see if we get a gap up until here, whether we are going to break this or again reverse from here and come down. In case we reverse and come down, the first target is 17,700 and 17,640, and then even this level is a pretty good target, that is 17,500. And say if this is the breakout that we were waiting for, and if this level breaks out pretty clearly, right, a breakout and a retest of this level, then definitely we might see levels of say 17,830 is also possible. And again in Nifty, if we get a flat opening, now say all this US up move, okay, all this US up move tomorrow dies down, and say we end up getting a pretty flat opening, say like about 40-50 points gap up, then if this level breaks, the next target is 17,700, then 17,760, and on the downside is, if this level of 17,500 breaks, this is a very strong support. The Nifty is not able to break this area of 17,500 from a long time. So only if this breaks, we can aggressively short until 17,300 or 395, but otherwise it will just be a small move on the downside. So these are the levels that I have for Nifty and Bank Nifty. Either way, if we get a pretty flat opening, pretty flat, say 200 points up to 300 points is fine gap up, or say somewhere around 250 points gap up, if we get, we might have a nice trending day either on the upside, or we might reject, come down, break this, and on the lower side. If we get a huge gap up like say 400 or 500 points, then it would be a day where it would be a little difficult to trade. We will have to improvise in the live market and see how it goes. Thank you.